got my girls from the Rock here with me. Say hey, y'all.
Hi.
So I have Angie, Dara, and Lisa, and Coco and Cash. And we all grew up together in those Rockaway streets. So, y'all laughing already, right? But we made it, right?
Yeah, we here.
So, come on, ladies. Let's tell the people about yourselves. Introduce yourselves. Angie, I'll start with you.
Okay, hi, I'm Angie. As Joyce said, we came up in Far Rockaway. It was rough, you know. We didn't have a lot, and that's actually what made us. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't go back and change one thing, because I came out of there with great friends, and really my surroundings prepared me for the real world and what was coming that I had no idea. Fast forward, I'm an entrepreneur of 2 preschools, of an Airbnb business. I'm a mom of 2 beautiful children, a daughter that's on her way to college and a son that's 6 years old. I'm married. My husband, which I'm very grateful for, who's very supportive, and a beautiful family. So I'm blessed.
Yay! Dara, you're next.
Hello. I'm Dara. I grew up in Far Rockaway and both Inwood, so I gotta shout out Inwood also because I did spend a lot of time over there at Grandma's house. Y'all know.
Grandma.
Shout out to grandma.
Shout out to my grandmother.
Yes. To all the grandmothers.
Just to piggyback off of what one of my best friends, Angie, said, growing up was not easy. We didn't grow up, we weren't born with silver spoons, so to speak, in our mouths, and our parents worked very hard to provide everything that we got. It was a push for us all to go to school, go to college, get an education, get good careers. I currently am in my 20th year in the legal industry, and a new entrepreneur. I just started my notary business. So look out for that because a lot of information will be shared for all of you guys to,
Multiple streams of income?
100%. And that's not the only thing I plan on doing. I'm a mom of a beautiful 8-year-old going on 35. I'm also a football mom, so that takes a lot out of me, but I enjoy every moment of it. I'm a wife to a wonderful husband who also has a great career and works very hard and tries to provide for all of us. So again, I am extremely, extremely blessed, and I am, as well as the other ladies, am not a product of my environment. And I believe that 100%, you work hard, you do not have to be where you came from.
Absolutely.
All right. So
We have Lisa.
I am Lisa. I am the comedian of the group.
Yeah.
Okay? Everybody knows that. Loudmouth, all that. But, gotta tone it down, a little here. But, we grew up in Far Rockaway. We didn't have much, but we, bonded. We have great relationships, and we came from great families. I think that's a big thing.
Yes.
And I think that's the reason why we made it this far, because we came from a really great, all of us came from great families. Our families have bonded with each other. And I'm a nurse. I am a mother of twins, and I am going into nursing education soon. So, yeah. So, here we are. Yeah, so.
All right. So, one of the things, hold on, y'all, because
Who
I
are
was
you,
over
Joy?
here.
You ain't
Yeah,
sure
who are you?
People know who I am.
Not everybody.
We got new
All right.
viewers.
So my name is Joy. Again, I grew up in Rockaway. I had the pleasure of meeting and running the streets with these ladies. I won't tell y'all what we do, because some people
Not
still
running the streets.
We was in the streets.
We was
solo practitioner, so I don't work for a firm. I work for myself. I am married to a wonderful husband who I'm looking at right now. Hi, husband. He's our producer for tonight. My producer has the night off. And I am the mother of 2 fabulous boys. You just gotta turn the volume down. I'm the mother of 2 fabulous boys. They don't know no better because they do the podcast. Like, don't mind them. I'm the mother of 2 fabulous boys, and you know, my boys are older now. They're both in college. One is finishing his last year. He wrote a beautiful, beautiful essay. I posted it on my page. You guys have to check it out. He's nominated for an award from National Association of Black Journalists. And then I have my creative little boy. He just makes pictures and videos and all kinds of stuff and sends it to me. He's the one who taught me how to do this podcasting thing, but I still needed a producer because anything he said went in one ear and came out the other. And that's just kind of who I am. I'm an attorney, I'm a mom, I'm a wife. And now, apparently, I'm a content creator. So, ladies, tonight's episode, in case you didn't know, because that's how you know these are my riders, because I was like, y'all just come on for an episode. I didn't tell them anything.
Yeah.
So, we about to keep it 100. So, as you know, the background's fine. So, as you know, this started off as a book for me, right? And it was little things that I would go through in life, I would experience, and then I would go to my mom and be like, you never told me that. Right? And so she, didn't keep things from me because she was being malicious or anything like that. It was either she didn't know, she didn't think to tell me, or
she might have thought you were too young to know about it still.
And then my mother I'm sorry, God bless her soul. My mother was a Black Southern woman, so there was certain things that you didn't talk about, right? Because that was taboo.
Right.
And so I started to outline these things in a book, and then COVID happened. People were doing podcasts, and I didn't finish the book. I lost a part of it when my computer crashed. So I was like, oh, I'll just talk about it in a podcast.
Right.
Because what I found out is that other people, men and women, were experiencing these same things, right? Like going through life, and I'm like, my mother didn't say this, my father didn't tell me that.
And I think that's a good point too.
Yeah.
That we forget about the male side of it.
Yeah.
Like, automatically in our brains we say, what my mom didn't tell me, and we think as females.
Right.
But there's a lot that as mothers, especially that we're mothers of boys.
Right.
That it's important to tell them.
So the first real life episode that I had involved my younger son, Justice. And I was like, I want to be able to tell them everything. I mean, you can't, but I want to be able to tell them most things. Mm-hmm. So tonight, what I want us to talk about, because, this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. Mm. What I want us to talk about is things your mama never told you about raising children, right?
Dun, dun, dun.
Like, they didn't give us a manuscript. There was no outline, right? Like, and they raised us, so you would think, all right, I'm just gonna take what I know from how I was raised, but like, there's real life shit that go down.
Right.
And I'm like, she didn't tell me it was about to be like this.
Right.
So, and part 2 of that is going to be, what your mental health is, like how do you find or engage in self-care after that. So Lisa, I want to start with you because you have twins.
Hence why I needed a nap, right? Before I came here, right?
Naps are your best friend.
That's right.
So what's the biggest thing you wish your mother told you about being a mother?
that there's going to be a lot of struggles, and you have to mentally prepare for it and know how to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never say, I think we came from a generation where our parents may have not told us things, but we saw things. Like, my parents were more of action. You know what I'm saying? Like, I came from, my mom and my dad were very hardworking, you know, American people that came up and, you know, came from the South, started from, they came here young, they started a family young, and they just made it work, you know what I'm saying? And I come from a family, everybody is like married and loving each other, very loving towards one another. I mean, you know, you have a couple of people who are divorced here and there, but you know, I came from that kind of environment, and you know, I guess I never knew how hard parenting was, not alone, not, you know, just one kid, but two kids.
Right, I was gonna say that.
That's what I'm saying.
But even if they told you everything.
Yeah, I mean, I watched my parents raise us, but they did it with so much ease. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, it was more of like we were hustling and bustling to make it. They, you know, my dad worked 2 jobs. You know, my mom worked. I babysit my brothers while they were working. So, but I don't know. I guess, you know, I saw how they raised us, but they did it with so much ease.
Can I just,
you know,
I
and
don't
it
mean
was
to cut you off. Can I just stop you?
She talking to me though.
No. I just want to stop you really
All
quick.
right, when she have hers, I'm into
No. Because you keep saying that. You see how we raise our kids, how we don't let them see our struggles?
Yep.
I think that's what your parents did. It may not have been.
How you know? How you know?
Because
my parents did.
Because I was in your house just as much as you.
We were all in your house. They did a very great
Shout out to Mr. Bertha and Mr. Al, because we was all
They did a very great
The struggles that we have that we don't allow our kids to see, I think
they allowed us to have those struggles. They
You
allowed
think
us.
they
You think
allowed
so?
us?
Yeah, I think so. Because nowadays we do so much.
No,
and
I
I'm
mean
not
with
saying-
them. No, I mean with them. I
What
mean,
do you mean?
like with them raising y'all. Like, you see how you say like it was like they did it with ease. Like,
So she's saying she didn't see their
struggle.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, am I misunderstanding then? 'Cause-
She's saying she didn't see her parents struggle.
right.
No.
The same that we protect our kids from seeing the struggle.
So that, hold on to that point. Because some will say, you know, we raising some sucker kids out here.
Right.
Yes.
But
yes.
we'll get to that. So, Angie, I want to ask you the same question because your children are spaced apart. So you have one child that's about to go to college, right?
And then one that's just starting in the grade school system,
Right.
that's in kindergarten.
Right. So what do you wish your mama would have told you?
Well, it's funny, right? Because my brother and I are both 11 years apart as well.
Okay.
So it's funny how life goes because there's a lot of similarity in how my mom had me and my brother and how I had my daughter and my brother.
Okay.
Where my kids are 10 years apart. My brother and I are 11 years apart. But similar to Lisa, she was a single mom, you know, and I think about everything that she did as a single mom, and I say, with the little bit of money that she used to make, and I'm like, how did you do it?
Right.
You know, how did you do that? For me, one of the biggest challenges is just kind of starting over, right? Because my daughter, she's very independent. She's on her way out. She's on her way to college. And also the difference between boys and girls.
Hold on 1 second. I think they can hear us, but they can't see us.
1 second, guys.
This is the part about going live. Take your jacket off. Okay, we're back. I'm sorry, y'all. All I know how to do is raise babies and read law books. I don't know nothing about this podcast.
We are not
life,
technically savvy.
Yeah, the boys be getting tired of me. Thank you to my husband. Mwah, love you. So, continue, Ange. So, you were saying...
So I was saying that one of the because your question was what are one of the challenges that I face
Well,
with
what
the
do you
age
think
gap,
your mom, yeah.
right?
What do you, what your mom told you?
She didn't, you know, she didn't because again, like Lisa was saying, she did it with ease. I think
Right.
she was just going through the motions of raising us.
Right.
I have a brother with special needs, so I think also that was a big part of her having to really focus her attention and any downtime that she had on him, which also made me have to become very independent.
Right.
In my situation with my kids, it's the opposite. The older one is the one that's very independent,
Right.
and the younger one, as it should be, is the one that's more needy.
Okay.
But you know, you figure it out as you go along. She didn't prepare me for it.
Right.
But she did it. She did it with ease. She did it gracefully with very little money.
Yeah.
And you know, here we are, way more privileged, with a lot more income, with a lot
Sometimes
more.
it don't feel like
Right. A lot more resources when you compare it to where we came from,
Right.
and what they had.
Yeah.
And I feel like we struggle more,
Right.
right? Like my mom was a single mom, and here I am with the help of my husband, and I feel like sometimes I feel like a single mom in the marriage.
Right.
Sometimes raising the kids, and it's not to say like he's not helping me. It's just, you know, we have to work, we have to do things. Life happens. You're lifing.
Right.
And you know, you're not prepared. You're trying to figure it out as you go along. And if you try to compare your parenting to their parenting, what you start finding is like, man, they made it look easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Zara? Because you only have one child, and
It ain't easy.
yeah, because I'm saying also one of the things I find being older and meeting people who were, you know, only children or grew up as an only child, they're much more needy. There's no companion. You're it.
But I grew up as an only child.
So you know.
I have siblings,
Right.
but I'm my mother's only child, and I live with my mother. My mother
Right.
was my
Right.
primary parent.
Right.
Felt like you wasn't the only child. You was always over mom.
Okay.
Leave it to Lisa to slide the
That's
joke
a
in.
damn sure. Like I was always either at this one's house or this one's house.
Yes, and then we always managed to be over at Lisa's house because her mother made the best fried chicken ever.
And macaroni and cheese and
macaroni
collard
and
greens.
And we was up in there trying to get a plate.
Okay. So, like, what do you wish your mama would have told you?
Oh goodness. Everything. 100% everything. What to expect. Well, let me start with this, okay? Because my mother does try to tell me certain things now when it comes to me raising Jackson. But But these kids are so different now.
Yeah.
And the things that our parents were able to do to discipline us and to, like, you know, correct us when we were out of hand, we can't do that now.
Right.
These kids are exposed to a lot more. They're a lot more mature for their ages now. So no matter what she says, I realize that my mom gives me advice based on raising me. So one, she raised me back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, like her and my grandmother. Okay, I'm also a girl. So it's very different. It's very because there was times when, and I'll tell everybody this. It's funny now, but I tell everybody this. My mama had one time told me if I get another phone call and I have to come up to that schoolhouse one more time,
not the schoolhouse,
I'm gonna beat you in front of your class, and they could put my picture in the paper. She ain't care nothing about nobody telling her like these like
call BCW.
did not care, and I dared to not even act like I was like threat. Like my son now, he calls he knows what it is. He like, you know, he plays around with it or whatever because he doesn't get spankings. That's the thing. Like I don't
Believe in that.
I don't do that.
Right.
I don't discipline him in that way. But there is a very big significant difference in how I was as an 8-year-old and how he is as an 8-year-old. So like I said, like the things that my mama has told me doesn't work.
Wouldn't apply
Now,
to this generation.
Yeah. So that, she tries, but
Right.
it don't work. So as far as the things that she's never told me, she don't tell me she's never told me how to raise a child in 2024 and beyond.
Right.
And I think that's a great point too, because there are certain things when we were raised that is important and that you want to always hold tight to. Praying, believing in God, having manners when you walk into a room, saying hi to people, saying goodbye to people. Those are just your morals and respect, no matter what generation or what era or what lifetime you're in. But besides that, I think that we have to evolve. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
We have there are generational gaps and circles and chains that we have to break, and we have to kind of evolve with time and where we're at, and understand them and understand where they're at and what their needs are depending on their environment, right? And so I think as mothers, right, our mothers can't relate to that because a lot of this stuff didn't exist,
Right.
right? We didn't have this podcast, computers,
So
social
iPads,
media,
phones,
iPads,
and all that.
we were
No,
all
we didn't
sharing
have
one TV, and you pretty much were watching whatever your parents were watching.
Or you had the TV, one for picture and one for volume.
Right. And so
It's real hood in
we're
my-
just in a whole different. I'm like,
What?
we're in a whole.
But I said,
No
no
wonder you
wonder
was already. We're in a whole different era.
But we came from a generation where all your parents had to do was speak or look at you, and you knew what time it was. Now these kids be like, what?
Well, I got my ass whooped every day. Keep it
I
real.
remember I got chased around a round table. Cause I said, well, what you gonna do? She said, oh, what I'm gonna do? Okay, hold on, let me go get this at
Yeah,
Cola
that
out real
chasing
quick.
stuff don't work no more. I tried to chase my son a couple of months
He
ago,
thinks it's
and
a
I
game.
almost
He
broke my
starts-
hip running after this boy. So no, we gotta find a new way of parenting in these times.
So for me, my mother was more anecdotal, right? So she would teach me in stories. But then it would be like little slick stuff she would say out her mouth, like, you'll see. Right? And then,
I get
with
nervous
one
when
of the
they say
kids,
that.
she'd be like, he giving you what you gave me. Right? It would be stuff like that. But one of the things, I guess I wish we would have had more conversation about, and again, times are different, but like, I grew up in a 2-parent household. My brother is 13 years older than me. And my mother was a single mother, right? Because she had him before my parents got married and had me. But all the running around that I did, and I remember it, and I'm not just talking about like running around from football field to baseball field, and you got to find yourself 2 places at one time and at 2 different schools and at 2 different shows and praying both don't graduate on the same day. I'm not talking about that stuff, right? You could kind of wrap your head around it, but I struggled raising those boys. And I know for at least the first 4 years of my mother's life, she struggled raising him, right? Until her and my dad got married. But she didn't go into detail about that struggle. And so it was very difficult because I just watched her and my father parent with so much grace. I'm not saying it was a perfect home and, that nobody didn't get laid off from time to time and it wasn't financial struggles or whatever. But I always grew up in a nice one-family home. I had my own bedroom, white picket fence, backyard. Everybody had a car, like that type of situation. And so I saw a different type of issue growing up in my household. And when it was financial struggles, I knew about it, right? Because they both had professional jobs, but like shit happened, right?
Mhm.
And one would always have the other's back, and so that's what I was used to, because then everybody around me, you know what I'm saying, had that same situation going on. Where it was the mother and the father, and it was somebody to have each other's back. So I think her prayer was, she's not gonna see what I went through for those first 4 years.
Yeah.
Because I'm raising her to go get her man, get married automatically before she had kids. But I walked up in there like, surprise, I'm pregnant.
Yeah. And that's the part of parenting that nobody talks about.
Right, right. And so, and that's what I would always cry about, like, yo, this shouldn't have been this hard. This shouldn't have been this hard. And so, whereas my parents never hid anything from me. Like, I went through the struggle with them because it was like, yo, we gonna teach you.
Right.
So you know this part, right? But I guess there was a piece missing because at the same time they made it comfortable. I gave it to my children raw, straight, no chaser. You know what I mean?
And it's funny that you say that because I feel like that's what my eldest got.
Yeah.
But then I don't know if it's the age, because I'm older now,
right,
that I feel like I'm not as blunt with the younger one.
That's what people say when they have children later in life.
Right.
They got a little bit more patient.
Right.
I'm gonna just tell y'all a quick story. So, you know, I got stuff to do today. I'm out to go on a little trip. I gotta go get clothes. I gotta do grocery shopping. I gotta do all this stuff. And the boys fucked up my day. From 900 miles away.
They don't even live here, and they messing up your day.
One texting. It all started last night when I'm driving to choir rehearsal. Ma, I lost my wallet. Okay, you gotta shut down the credit card. And I was like, I done raised some entitles.
Yes.
Nobody can do anything for so and so. I can't see the credit card on the thing. You gotta shut the credit card down. I was like, but I'm driving, right? But still, cause he all frantic, cause you know the kids are high anxiety now, right? And I'm like, I'm driving. I was like, okay. I get to choir rehearsal. La 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 la. Phone ring. I got the lady from Chase Bank on the phone. She needs to speak to you right now. She needs your social security number.
Oh no.
Boy, I'm trying to praise the Lord right now, and you finna make me cuss. Okay? So we get on there. The lady shut everybody card down.
Oh gosh.
Okay? Oh, you'll have your new cards in 5 to 8 days. I was like,
cards, S.
Because
I know, I'm saying that's what you was thinking at that moment.
What that got to do with me? So then I said, well, you better call your brother and tell him his card is shut down.
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness.
That trickled into a fight this morning, right? One texting me, one calling me. And I'm like, my eyes swollen. I can't have C because you know some allergies or whatever like that. And I was like,
you're like, and I'm just trying to get my choir practice on.
Right. No, this is this morning. This went all the way to this morning. I can't get no gas. You shouldn't even be using mommy card for gas. Like,
oh my goodness.
And I started laughing. I started laughing because I was like, so, like, we can't even get sick. Look at my eye. Look at my eye, y'all. You know how it is. You can't even get sick.
No.
You constantly on the run. I'm like, and y'all know my mom is going now, so I'm like, Ma, like you ain't. I thought I was done. They in college.
You got them out the house. You thought you were done.
I gotta find.
Never done.
A good parenting is never
done. No.
I just want to
and
get up and go to the urgent
you're never
care
gonna be done, no?
to take care of my eye. But I just sat on the toilet and listened. Like, then I was like, okay, y'all finished? Y'all made up now? I go to the store. I'm in the dressing room trying on swimsuits. And let me tell you this. I was like, why you back on my phone? Why this. I can't. Work it out. He's been doing this to me since I was a kid. He's always been acting like this since he was a kid. So it's like those things, right? That we went through it, and I guess the takeaway is we watched our parents, and now, you know, because I'm a glutton for punishment, I got me 2 little ones. Stop. So, like, we watched our parents. I guess there's no roadmap. There's no roadmap to being a parent.
No, there isn't.
No.
And like you were saying, things have changed. We don't live in the same generation that we lived in. These kids are different, you know. And back in the days when we were growing up, I felt like we were more independent.
100%.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
We
my
were
God.
more independent.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's from growing up in the
Think about it.
city.
You couldn't
or
go
what.
home.
Yeah.
Once you left, if you had some quarters in your pocket, maybe you could use the public phone. But once you left the house, you're not talking to your parents again until you
Not
get back
me.
home.
Y'all had a hard life.
Watch it fronting.
No,
You was right with us,
Terrence said
okay?
it to me today though. When we was on the phone, he's like, "Yo, you was the first one with a beeper." So
No, but
like,
we
your
had
fiance played
beepers,
with
but
you.
before the beepers.
But that was
Yeah,
even
but
still
before
difficult.
we-
That wasn't as easy. That wasn't like like today where you just pick up the phone and dial a
Yeah,
number. Like you
automatic.
had to find a
These
pay
kids
phone.
got phones at 10 years
You
old.
get the beep,
I didn't have
but
a
you
phone
still had to
until
go
I was
get to the
almost
phone.
adult when I got
And what
home.
happens when you was outside?
Yeah, but you should have, you know, to be back there when them street lights hit on. But you know what I find?
We went outside.
But
to play.
remember,
they don't
we
go
used to-
outside
They
to
don't
play.
play.
We used to call collect and say the message in the recording.
I'm at so and so house. Can you come
I'm
pick
at
me up?
so-and-so. You have a collect call from, I'm at Beach Night Street. Please come get me real quick.
Cause if you got charged, baby,
Oh,
if they
Lord.
caught that charge when you call and collect, that was a whole different job. No, I remember those days.
The 976
But
numbers.
let me tell y'all, I find myself
I'm hot.
in a certain state. That's another episode. I find myself in a certain state because, you know, part of my job, I represent kids too, and the parents are mostly my age, and it's like I gotta stand up and say, no, you're wrong as a parent, right? It doesn't matter what I believe.
Right.
I have to represent my client's position, and so I try to explain to the parents, like, I know, like I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like a new breed of kid, and I guess I had to tell myself they were so hard on us, I feel like, in that independence, that whole latchkey kid thing. Take the chicken out, and if you don't, like, you ain't take the chicken out the refrigerator to defrost.
You getting fucked up.
Right. Like,
Period.
it was like they were so hard on us that we was like, let us try to ease up on our kids. And I think we went a little too overboard.
Yeah.
Because these
definitely.
some entitled.
Very
Let me
entitled.
say
Very
this. I realized
Let me pour
very
you. I need
recently.
another drink.
I realized recently
Y'all got the
that
I'll drink.
so I realized recently that one thing that I've done is I've overcompensated a lot.
Because you was a single mom.
Because not only just that, but I've overcompensated because
Wait, did we-
wait, I'm trying to have a serious moment, but this right here.
Wait, did we bring the other one?
No, we did
No,
not.
I told you bring the other bottle with y'all went upstairs, so y'all got
This is very uncensored, guys.
Listen, I said in my post that
I
we bringing the
told
real
you.
in the
You
raw.
gotta help
I
us
give
out here.
So
It's
when I
in the box, the sweet berry or
babe.
No, it's
something.
in the freezer.
No, you put this one in the freezer. You didn't.
Oh
put
no, I
yours.
put one in the fridge on the bottom.
Oh, on the fridge of the bottom. Okay.
So-
We give it to you raw, baby.
for real.
We don't
So-
sugarcoat. We're sorry.
So my overcompensation comes from, and I'm not saying that it's wrong, because I 100% believe that in order to raise a child or raise a human being that knows how to be kind, knows how to be accountable, knows how to apologize,
Right.
you have to do those things for
You gotta
them.
model the behavior.
You have to do that.
I don't like it though.
I know. I know. I'm 100% with you. There's times where I let's be honest. Like these kids will push you to your limit, and you lose your
will.
shit.
Yeah.
You will lose your shit, and I have lost my shit. And there have been times where I have caught myself, and I've had to apologize.
Yeah.
And
But I never got that. But that's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying. Like I feel like sometimes I overcompensate for those things because I never got that, and in my mind I say to myself, "You're not. Don't do that to him. Don't do that."
And I love that piece, and I do that with my kids too. And it's something that I started with my daughter. It wasn't immediate. I think I want to say like by the time she was maybe like 6 or 7, I said, you know what? We make mistakes too. We're not perfect. We have to also be okay with admitting our mistakes to our kids.
Yes.
Our parents were not doing that. I don't care who your parent was, how great they were.
Yeah.
There was no parent in the era that we grew up that was gonna be like, "I'm sorry, you're right, I'm wrong."
Yes.
Those words were not coming out of any of single mom, single dad, happily married. It didn't matter what kind of household it was. But I agree with you 1,000% that it is important if you're wrong to say, "Hey, I'm wrong," or "I don't have the answers," and I apologize for maybe assuming or jumping to the conclusion or whatever it is. Because with social media, I'm not gonna lie. As a mom, I'm like, "What are you looking at? What are you doing? Who are you talking to?" And there have been times where I've made assumptions, and clearly that's not what was going on. And I've apologized. Or I'm having a bad day, and I'm just not in that element.
Remember when I told you I used to get a beating every day? So 2nd grade, I was off the chain. It was me, Trayvon, and Chris. Chris, I'm calling you out. Like, I was the kid who would throw desks.
Damn.
Yeah, like what?
But my
anger issues.
What be going on in that courtroom? You representing.
But so my mom, because she was a teacher, right? She was an educator. She knew what they would do to me. Right? They would just put me on the medication, like
or
it would
throw
be
you in
over.
a special ed class.
Right.
Medication.
But I was smart. It was just I would get what you said.
Medication.
That's what they try to do to us. That's what they try to do to us.
You know, back in the day,
But
like,
still, shout out to the educators. Shout out to the black educators.
Yes, like I would have been in Spofford, right? If she had let me. Y'all remember? You remember?
They were sending you up to Job Corps?
You remember?
No, she would have been in a little room. The room off to the side.
She wasn't trying to let them do that to me, so she was just like, I guess she was like, let me beat it out.
She thought that would help instead. Okay.
So it was one day.
Drop of water in your glass?
No,
The what?
Because I'm about to.
Oh, you put ice. Okay. No, I thought you.
So if the producer was here tonight, he'd be going off, y'all. Okay. So,
cheers.
So it was and the teacher, Miss Catazzo, where you at? I remember she threw me up against the board one day. She was pregnant. She said, "I'm sick of your shit. You understand? I'm sick of your shit." I was like, Miss Catazzo, put me down. Like I was bad. And they would write the letter home every day. And so I would just get in the hallway and assume the position. Second grade. Let's go. One day,
what did that do to you mentally?
So I'm gonna tell you. So one day,
well, in the moment.
But so one day, because remember we started off about the apology. So one day, I just stopped. I just like, I'm sick of y'all running around cutting the fool. I ain't about to be with the get along gang. Yeah, I just got tired of it. I stopped. It was probably because I was too far ahead. Like I ended up getting skipped. I was bored with the work, that whole thing. So I just stopped cutting up, and I came home, and it was like these good reports. And so when I got home, I didn't assume the position. And she beat me anyway. And my father had my book. And he was like, stop.
Right.
She didn't do anything today.
Okay.
And the look in her eyes, right?
Right.
I was like, it's all right, Mom. Because I knew she was ready. But this is a woman who grew up in the deep, dirty South, went to a segregated school, had to pick cotton for money.
It's cultural.
Yeah, apologizing
Yeah, it's cultural.
wasn't in her blood.
Yeah.
So then she just started crying.
Right.
And I was just like, it's okay, right? Because I know what I did. I would have beat me too, right? Because she was ready, right? So I say all that to say, like, yes, like now it's almost like a learning experience. We learn, like, you gotta kind of put your pride aside when you have that rough day, you come home and you taking it out the kids, you screaming and hollering. It's nothing but to say sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got one of these new children who want to remind me of it all the time. Now, I didn't apologize this morning because I woke up, my eye was half shut.
Yeah.
I was sick
Sometimes
of y'all.
you're not gonna get it, even
You know
if
what I
you
mean?
are right.
But Ma, you ain't even say sorry. You
Yeah,
ain't
you're
about
not
to
getting
get that today, boo.
Yeah. You lucky you get it when you get it.
Yeah.
You get a hug tomorrow.
Yeah. You lucky you get it when you get it.
All right, so I have another question for you guys.
Lisa, I thought you didn't want the dog next to you.
She loves
You're
her.
right.
It's a she.
Oh,
Say my
whatever.
name, Chiquita.
Whatever she is.
Coco
She,
Chanel.
he, whatever.
Hey, look at Cashy girls,
Just
mommy
go.
Cashy. All right, so I'm gonna ask the real question because we gonna keep it real. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
So how do you think, because we talked about the biggest thing you wish your mama would have told you about being a mom and raising kids, and all of us here have experienced it doing it as a single mom at some point or other, right? How do you think it differs being a woman of color?
Oh, you getting deep.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And for my good girlfriends who are tuning in that are of other, races, it's a real conversation. I talk to them about it too.
Yeah.
We talk about the differences.
Yeah.
Let's go. As a woman of color, a black woman, a Dominican woman, a Puerto Rican woman, we see the differences.
We see the differences you're saying between other races and how our parents raised us, you're saying? I just want to make sure I understand the question.
How we're raised, how we raise our kids, and we have to teach things we have to teach our kids. One of the hardest things for me, and you girls are going to see it, all three of you,
Yes,
because
we
you have boys.
Yep.
So, Satch was about 13, meaning Justice was 8 or 9, when the whole Trayvon Martin thing happened. And so it was at that point that they realized why I was so strict when it came to certain things. I can't just let you walk up the street with your friend.
Right.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we're facing two enemies.
Right.
We're facing the police, right? And let me clarify it, not calling you enemies, but y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So we're facing that could happen to you, and we're facing someone who looks just like you just taking you out. Like my son used to walk home in a uniform because he went to Christ the King, and we would
Shout out to Christ the King. I know a lot of people that go there.
But you know how he was. He was like that uber, like crazy cool nerd. So he would run track and then throw his uniform back on. So he would have his sweat socks and his pants never fit right. They would be tall like this, and he just come back home.
One leg up, one leg down.
No,
Just trying to get home.
no, just his pants were too short, like the hem. He went through a growing phase in high school, so I would always have to loosen the hem, but it wasn't. I ain't had no money to keep taking the dry cleaner. I'm loosening the hem myself, so you could see his sweat socks and his hard bottom shoes. Why you pulling him over, Mr. Policeman?
Right.
Who he bothering?
Right.
And then on the flip side, he would he would tell me that like guys would roll up on him like, oh, you wearing red? So every day I'm concerned when he coming home from the train station. I was like, yo, you just gotta get out of here, cause which one gonna get you first?
Right.
Hold on. I think we lost our signal again. I apologize. I'm gonna keep talking. Y'all know what we look like. So we back.
We back.
Shout out to the viewer.
My daughter sent me a text. Shout out to Layla. Thank you.
Shout out to my sis Samantha. She's like signal Lord.
Yes.
Yes.
Shout out to my husband. This ain't how we usually do it. This ain't our setup, but tonight is a special event. So we're gonna have some little
We're doing it a little bit
consistency
different.
But shout out to y'all. So that's what I'm trying to figure, like, you know, because I learned about the segregated schools and the cotton fields and all that stuff like that, and I've watched what my parents did because they had enough money to buy my brother a Mustang at the age of 16. And I remember my first time in the courtroom was when they thought his moped was stolen, and my father was like, no, I bought this because I fucking go to work and I make nice money.
And that's crazy that you even have to do that.
Right? So I learned those lessons. I already knew what it's gonna be about, but like, how do you all feel like it differs being a mother?
Yeah, it definitely differs. A short story. My daughter was in daycare, and I really am thankful to even the daycare provider. Well, my kids was in daycare to even bring this to my attention, but. I remember she had an incident one day, and she never came back and told me because she was so little. But she had an incident one time at the daycare where a bunch of little kids was playing, and they told her she couldn't play because of her skin color. That she couldn't play with them.
Yep.
So, you know, I think the difference is like, do we really have to teach our kids about racism? Yes, we do.
Thank you.
Yes.
You know, that's how.
It's
that's a big
unfortunate,
difference.
but it's
unfortunate. We have to teach our kids about racism. We have to teach our kids that they're not the same as other kids. They can't do the same things that other kids do, and that's just how it is. You know, your skin is different, your hair is different, but we have to teach them to love themselves. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think that's the hardest part.
That's the most important part.
Right.
Is to make sure that the love is there, that the love is flowing in the households, that they know they're loved, and that they embrace that. And embrace themselves the way they are, because the world is full of trickery. The world is hard, and especially we talk about life now versus before. But and it probably did exist, but I feel like even though it was hard or whatever like that, I don't know. I just never felt the racism like we do now.
So let me jump in.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
And I guess as we advanced
I agree with you.
in class, that changed.
But also, kids are exposed to so much more because of social media.
Right.
And because of the things that are on the television.
Yes.
So I can remember, like, Jackson is still very young, right? He's 8. But I remember telling my husband, like, I do not want him. So let's go back to the fact that when we went to school, we went to Catholic school, right? We went to a Catholic school, a very diverse Catholic school.
Yes.
Diverse to the point where there weren't many Caucasian kids, white kids in our Catholic school. It was mostly Black and Hispanic kids. And then as we got older, you went to a high school that was mostly white kids. I went to a high school that was a lot of white kids. It was whatever. And then I had my kid. He was growing up in the Bronx, which is mostly Latin and Black.
Yeah.
So I knew I do not want, and it's really sad to say, but I knew I did not want him going to public school in the Bronx.
Right.
I didn't care what age he was. He was not going to public school in the Bronx. So I made it my business to make sure that he went to a Catholic school for the time that we were there.
Right.
As he got older, I had a conversation with my husband, and I knew he's getting older. We need to get him out of here. It wasn't necessarily for me. It wasn't necessarily for him. But when you're raising a boy, a black boy, there's so many risks out there. Like there's just so many things. The wrong crowd, the gangs, the drugs. Let's just keep the drugs too, because the black kids get on them too. Just the cops, like it's just all of it. It's just too much. And I'm not saying that we don't have that raising them in Long Island, but it's just
different.
It's different. It's very different.
And that's interesting that you say that, because that was one of the reasons why my dad moved us out of the city too. And it was more so for the boys, you know.
Because
my
you
two
was
brothers.
already older.
Yeah, I was already older.
I
I did pretty well, but my dad, the same thing. He wanted to make sure that he said that he had a vision of them getting in trouble. Like it was starting to happen.
I just couldn't see.
It's interesting
having
how
him
we see that for boys versus girls, right?
Because I feel like black males, from the moment they come into this world, have a target on them. Whether it's because they're looked at as being violent, or they're looked at as being a threat, or they're just looked at in such a negative light. We're looked at differently. We're looked at as being strong and like that's why, and angry, and that's why we get poor medical care. But that's a whole nother conversation.
That's another
podcast. That's another episode. But like, I was very passionate about what school district that I moved into. I did my research before we bought, and I was just like, I want him to be here. If we're gonna go out there, this is where I want him to be, and he's thriving. We have our moments,
right?
Like anybody else.
Like we have our moments where I get a call or a message or something about he's not doing this or he's not doing that. But one thing for sure is that he's getting educated. He's getting what he's supposed to get. And I already know that at some point I'm going to have a specific conversation with him that other parents are not going to have to have.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
I know that there's going to be a conversation about who he is and what he represents.
Well, I'll talk a little bit about that because yes, there's a big fear, I think, mothers of boys because of Trayvon Martin, because of situations like that.
Because of situations that consist to happen even to
exactly. Profiling. But it happens among the girls too, you know. It just happens differently, like you said. I know my daughter, for example, she had a very hard transition from living in the city where there's a lot of diversity, where there's a lot of culture, where there's different religious backgrounds, where we all live among each other and respect each other, to moving into what I felt was giving them a better opportunity, right? But it was predominantly white.
I had the
and that's where I still live, right?
And I warned you about that.
Right. We had a conversation on my stoop when I think a day after I signed, the papers.
And it's funny that you say that because I can relate to later because I was older, so I had a tough. I was coming back to Queens every day, all the time. And I was already older. I wasn't like, once you're like older, it's kind of hard for you to meet like new people or be trusting to new people. So that was a big issue for me. So I can definitely relate to that. You already have your friends.
You already have your friends. You're used to
your environment. What advice did you give her though? Because I remember she had an incident.
Yeah. She
going to a HBCU.
She's going to HBCU.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to him. The RTs will be there.
Okay. Homecoming 2025.
There were different moments. But let me think about just one specific one, because she had many moments where she came home and she was like, I'm done. Like, I just can't do this. It pushed her though. Because she does come from a bunch of women that we pushed through anything. And I've role modeled that for her. Her grandmother has role modeled that for her. And so that actually pushed her to actually finish high school a year early. So I was glad about that she found a positive in a negative. She made a positive out of a negative. But what I told her is, this is life.
Yeah.
And one of the things I teach my kids is be grateful for everything that happens to you, good or bad.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when negative things happen to us, that's all we're so honed in on that negative that we don't see the bigger picture. We don't really see that there's actually a blessing in that negative. Life prepares you for different things. And my message to her was, this is going to make you stronger. This is going to prepare you for real life, for when you go out to corporate America, when you go to the university. Because at that time, I didn't even know what university she was going to choose.
Right.
You know, I said, so wherever life drops you, you will survive.
Right.
Because you're going through those motions now. Is it easy? No. Is it hurtful? Absolutely.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
but you are beautiful, and you're beautiful in your brown skin, and you're beautiful with your curly hair, and you're beautiful with your hair frizzy, and you're beautiful just the way God made you.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and it's so important for us to embrace who we are and how God makes us. But this is something your mother never prepares you for.
Right.
Those tough conversations that you have with your kids, with your eyeballs full of tears, right? Because you're feeling their hurt.
Right.
You're feeling their pain. You're feeling their anxiety. You're feeling what they're going through. And all you want to do is really throw a bubble over them.
Yeah.
And say, world, don't touch my kid.
Yeah.
I'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Heavy on the I'll fuck you up. Because
Yeah.
there's been a lot of times where it be another kid. No, I
Yeah.
shouldn't even say that. But
But
it be a lot. Like, I be ready to like
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah, raw.
I be ready to fight. I be ready to fight y'all kids.
But
Wow.
you know, not for
I
my
ain't playing.
babies, I'm coming through. Like, mess with me all day, but don't mess with my babies.
100%.
But, you know, that's not the reality. The reality is that we're not there 24/7.
Yeah.
The reality is that they're by themselves. The reality is that they're out in life and they're lifing as well. So, you know, you try to just be there for them. But I tell her, you know, my biggest message, and I think this goes for all of our kids, is try your best, depending obviously on the situation, to find a positive in the situation that you're in.
Yeah.
So
What's your takeaway? Like, what did you learn from that?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You're hurt. I get it. It's
and
fucked
we'll
up.
see, because they all right in that little nice tight niche, right? And we'll see. And I guess that's how our parents was. Like, we'll see how this works out.
Yeah.
Because with every generation, there's new challenges,
Right.
new experiences, and people have written books, but then they become obsolete. So here we are. So last question, ladies. Now we going through all of this and getting through life, husbands, kids.
I ain't got no husband, so I can't
Who's
relate.
a single, ready to
I'm a
mingle,
single
just in
lady,
case
yeah.
somebody watching.
If anybody's
We always
out
trying to
there,
hook up.
So
with
maybe
somebody.
I'll just sit while y'all have this
you should
conversation.
have went to the party I went to last.
Somebody
the other
professional got a good job.
Rob, come get your
Night. I went
wife,
to a
Rob.
nice party. He know. I went to a nice little party. Okay, found you a little nice little young Tinder.
Not a young tender.
Either a young Tinder or an old Tinder.
Oh
We
my
get them
goodness.
fresh and or with Social Security benefits.
What is the next question here? Okay, because somehow I always end up.
And they pinch you coming in. Okay. Bills paid.
Not a young tender.
Now, you
They're
need-
still trying to get me. I am happily single. Okay, let's move on.
Next episode.
Look at the difference.
Coco.
She's like, what's happening
Okay,
right
she's
now?
the
We
young
don't
Tinder.
even know ourselves.
All right. So, how after party when the podcast is?
Oh my god.
So, what do you ladies do to engage in like self-help and relaxation with all this stress and goings-ons? What do you do? What do you
Let me
do?
tell
Dad,
you.
what do you do?
I am very, very, very intentional with my self-care.
Okay.
I am very, very, very
Me too.
intentional with my therapy. I
love
used to
that.
think that it was such
No, that's
so
dope.
taboo
Taboo.
Nope.
to talk about or to tell people that you were in therapy. Get your ass in a room and have a conversation.
And talk to that non-biased person.
Yes.
Lay on the couch.
And if you and
Let me
let's
see them sneakers.
those are cute. and get yourself some help, because let me tell you something. Walking around being a functioning dysfunctional person is not the move.
Right.
I did that for a long time, a lot of years, and therapy has helped me immensely. It's helped me in my everyday life. It's helped me in my everyday situations. It's helped me being a mom. It's helped me being a wife. It's helped me being an employee, a woman, and making sure that I focused on me and my goals when I needed to. Go to therapy. It's very helpful.
Can I just say this? For
That's so
people who may
important.
not know, therapy for Black people is very
Talking
taboo.
about culture.
100,
For
yes.
people of color, it's
I
very
used
not
to
a
be
part
told
of our
pray.
culture.
I used to be told
Yeah.
pray. That's what I used to
Pray,
be told.
still get told pray. It's you know, we had this saying that you would lock your crazies in a closet because that's literally what they would do, or they would keep them in the house out of sight
Oh yes.
from folks,
In the
right?
back room.
And they didn't realize there was a spectrum, so we always use. And please understand, there's going to be another episode with my good friend who is the best psychiatrist, that's focused on mental illness and in the industry. I'm sorry, and its impact on Black people, but they don't realize, like, there's this spectrum, just like there's a spectrum for autism, right? There's this spectrum where it's not just crazy, right? Sometimes you need somebody to talk to. And when I was talking to my son, because in this article that he wrote, which is why it was very key to me, he divulged, which is something that I had kept from people because that's not my business to tell. He said a sentence like, and so I'm privileged to be able to see my therapist. I'm not quoting exact words. And so I said, why did you use that word? He was like, because people throw it up in my face that I go to therapy as if it's a privilege, as if it's something that is not available to everybody. And I had to think about it. It's not like it ain't available. You can have whatever type of health insurance. You can find a therapist. But there's probably still some people out there in these families who don't believe in
Well, I'll tell you, I'll tell you
very
this.
much attached to it.
Being in the, so my corporation is an independent contract with the New York City Department of Education. And we basically service children from ages 3 to 5. A lot of these children are coming in with trauma, whether it's post-COVID or we have immigrants that have crossed the border. We have Venezuelans that just came off the bus. We have Dominicans that got here illegally. I'm Dominican. We have all types of people from South America, Central America. You have Haitians. You have everybody, because it's right in the heart of Jamaica, Queens.
Yeah.
And so
Queens is a melting pot.
Yeah, it's a melting pot. And some of the children really, whether they're not speaking yet or whether they need occupational therapy, some of these parents are really in denial.
Right.
Like they just don't want to admit that their child needs help. And over the years, because I've been in the industry now since 2012, over the years, I've sat down with many parents. I think to date we've serviced 387 families. And from those 387 families, I've talked to so many. And, some of them Bengali backgrounds, Indian background, Muslim. And the ones that don't want to, it's cultural.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's cultural. And when you finally have the conversation with them and you say, hey, this is going to help your kid. Your kid is in the foundational stages of early childhood.
Yeah.
And if you don't get your child this help now, you're going to see the ripple effect in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. This is the time you want to get in and get it. And they go, can I be honest with you? And I'm like, please.
Yeah.
Please be honest so I can help you.
Yeah.
And they go, it's just that in my country, we're not allowed to ask for help.
Yeah.
That's seen as a weakness.
Yep.
And we have to be strong, not only for our families, but maybe in the village we're in, or maybe from, other people coming in, outsiders or whatever. And I respect that. Or they're not even aware that these services are available. So,
but what do you
a lot of it is cultural.
Yeah.
A lot of it is cultural.
But I know your mom.
Mm-hmm.
I love her mother is.
That's the original OG. Shout out to Marianela.
The first time I had some good pernil.
El moro de guandules.
Baby. What do you do though? Because
for your self-care.
Because the field that the four of us are in
it's very stressful.
Is very stressful in addition to home life, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Yeah, so I'm big. No, I'm big. Like Daracina said, intentional. I'm big on making sure I'm happy.
Right.
And I think that I learned that in my first separation. I was with somebody for 11 years, and we separated and left each other, and I was like, wow, I lost myself in that. I didn't take care of myself. I didn't put myself first, and I said that will never happen again. I will make sure moving forward my nails are done because that makes me happy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like people
Little
are like,
things.
People are like, yo, Aunt, your nails are always fly. I'm like, thanks. I do that intentionally because it makes me happy to be like, okay.
Yeah.
You
and
know,
you got that time to yourself.
Yes.
Right.
Definitely meditating. A lot of people don't know this, but I spend a lot of time kind of like just spending time with myself. I'm big on Buddhism. I'm big on I don't read books. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and tell you, I read books.
It's all right.
No, I'm not reading the book from beginning to end. That's not what I do. However, I read a lot. I'm not. I am not. But I read a lot. I do a lot of research. I do a lot of reading.
You see?
Okay. She do a lot of reading.
I'm listening.
I was weak. Because you said that you don't read.
Because you like, I'm not
No,
gonna read.
I'm not. No, let me correct that. I'm definitely reading.
I'm like, this chick, how many childhood early education centers?
No. Oh, no, I have my degree, honey. So there was a lot of reading going on. And it's in pre-law, so trust me. But I'm not reading a book from beginning to end. And I'm not going to sit here and lie.
It's
and a lot of people don't do that. And a lot of people get the thing for dummies. What's it called? When you get the
cliff
notes.
notes.
Yeah, the
Put
cliff
in the
notes.
rabbit hole.
No. And you know what, though? But I you catch me at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and I'm reading and I'm researching and I self-teach myself and I self-educate myself. And let me tell you something. I had my 7, my 63. Those that know about investment banking know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I worked on the New York Stock Exchange floor. So, like, you know what I mean? Trust me, the education and stuff is there. I'm not doing it the conventional way.
That's how you get your.
You get what I'm saying?
self-help.
I'm definitely my self-help, and for me is just laying back.
Yeah.
And reading what I want to read.
Yeah.
Maybe today I want to read about mortgages.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow I want to read about interest rates.
Yeah.
Maybe the next day I want to read about short-term rentals.
Yeah.
Every day something different, but it's so important. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever amount of time you need as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as a woman, a minority woman that also goes through other trials and tribulations.
Absolutely.
That you self-care. And whatever way that is, a massage, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, therapy.
For me, it's my nails.
Going for a
waxing.
walk.
Lisa, what do you do? Because you got these two jokers.
They told me to go to therapy.
One just called before we started. Mom, why the podcast?
But wait,
started?
no, but one is on YouTube right now,
Oh,
like on
Lord.
commenting back to back.
What
Oh,
did she
Lord
say?
Jesus.
What do you do, Lisa?
So, for me, it's funny that you say that because I've never ever really practiced self-care for myself. Growing up, I always put everybody first before myself, and I think that's why I became a nurse because everybody's always coming first, you know. And now that I went through a divorce and things like that, my children have always been like my priority.
Right,
you know?
right.
And I had to learn, like over the years, I had to learn how to care for myself. And it's interesting that you're saying that about. I enjoy a lot of spending time alone. Like
Right.
that's my self-care.
Oh yes.
And sleeping. That's my self-care.
I think
good
you should put
nap.
sleeping as your first one and
Yes.
then go to everything
A good
else.
nap.
I know
We
I like to sleep.
You
now.
love a good nap.
Naps are
But
fun.
I'm trying to learn like here and there. You know, I try to go get my nails done, my hair done, things like that. But in therapy, I do agree with. But I'm learning how to do self-care. You know, as a single mother, it's very hard. You know, to give yourself self-care. So I'm learning, but I don't really practice a lot of self-care, to be honest with you.
And you know what? But that's okay, right? Because it'll come. So I am.
Especially as the kids get older.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me tell you, I'm the queen of referring people to therapy. I'm about to read some resources off to y'all right now. I can refer anybody to therapy. I refer my clients to therapy. I refer my kid clients to therapy. I'm like, therapy. I feel like a hypocrite because I don't have my own personal individual therapist.
Oh.
And it's
Also,
not.
so you also don't read the book from beginning to end.
Oh, so you don't practice what you preach.
I don't. I feel like and it's not because I don't want to, right? But I've always had this knack for self-reflecting.
Right.
And I'll say it shit. Like people, for instance, if somebody feels like, you know, you had an argument and nobody don't want to admit that they're in the wrong, I've always had this knack to look back at the situation and see what I did, to see if I did anything wrong, and sometimes, and I'll lay it all out. So as I go through life, that's how I kind of been making it through, right? And then I have like a consort of friends that I could kind of depend on, and I'll just call them and they'll be my therapist. I already know like they don't have a degree in it, right? Like they probably telling me some shit that might maybe jump off a cliff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But part of it is I'm able to get out what I need to get out without judgment.
That's a big part of it. Getting all that shit out.
Yes.
Right. So my self-help used to be shopping. Like I was a shopaholic. But I'm a person, I don't like to do stuff alone.
Damn sure don't, because the shit quick to send a text message. What y'all doing?
What y'all doing, right? I don't.
And I'm so much the opposite.
Yeah.
I love my alone time.
But see, that comes from being like that only child syndrome. Because remember, my brother was 13 years older than me. My sister was 12 years older than me. So I was raised. So I don't like to be alone. So
That's funny you say that.
you don't like to be alone,
I
right?
I like my alone time, but when it comes to like going out to like shop, or
Yeah.
I always
You
want
want
somebody
somebody
with
with
me.
you.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Lisa said, not me.
But shopping turned into a chore, right? Because I had to shop for the kids. I had to shop for my mother because she could no longer do it.
Right.
So it turned into a chore. So then, you know, the other thing, everybody know, I done said it before, my hair, that's my thing, baby. I just asked y'all, should I have this next week?
Yes.
I love it.
I love
Y'all
the
like
braids.
this?
The
Yeah.
braids look so nice.
I want, because my stylist she already got Sissy waiting. That's my new wig.
oh Lord.
I call my wig Samantha.
But wait, my wig was just her. Like I just said, I brought her out.
My son said, what's this, Mom? I said, it's Samantha alone.
But wait,
Jackson.
Jackson was on. I got a video of Jackson. My mom wears a wig.
Oh my goodness.
But that's why when you texted, I was like, what you doing? Because I didn't know you was talking. But
I was about.
she texted the other day, she's like, wow.
I brought her out.
I said, where y'all going? I didn't know what she was talking
She's
about.
on my head and we out.
All I saw was you and your mom.
pretty girl.
I said, where y'all going? But so, like, stuff that I used to engage in for so here you started to become chores.
Oh, wow.
So, I'll find a therapist. I think they are.
I guess I'll read the
I
book.
guess
Absolutely
or
not.
some medication.
Yeah, Lisa, I guess I'll read
They
the
not
book.
paying me. They not paying me, so I'm not putting it on camera. Shoot, that that help a little bit. I'm not. I'm not.
Talk to somebody.
I asked.
Y'all could call in these people because we done messed up on the time. We be all right. Listen, so we gonna wrap up now. Far Rock's finest. Thank you,
fun.
my ladies.
This was fun.
My ride
Thank
or
you guys
die.
for tuning in. I
everybody
got
that enjoyed
text messages from people I haven't talked to in a minute that they were like, "Hey, I'm dialed in." So
hold
Thank
on.
you.
I keep
Hold
telling
on.
these chicks it's a process to this. These maritas be talking all the time.
yeah.
All right, so first I want to give some shout outs. Ladies, show your t-shirts.
Oh, okay. Let me
Shout
check
out-
my stomach now.
My boobs look extra big, so I'm gonna just go like
The camera
this.
adds 10
I'ma
pounds.
crop
so
the
they
t-shirt.
say.
So shout out to my kinfolk, Cheryl Rucker. I am
Thank you,
Custom
Cheryl.
C. I
She did a good job.
on Instagram at I am Custom C for the t-shirts, and she got my favorite color in glitter. That is turquoise. Except for the men, she didn't put theirs in glitter, but I told her she should have and get them together. So remember, I am Custom C for your t-shirts. She is also making our Juneteenth special event t-shirts. Shout out to her. I have some resources for you ladies and gentlemen. Psychology Today, www.psychologytoday.com.
Wait, should I put it in the chat?
I'll send it to you guys.
Okay.
The Association of Black Psychologists, abpsi.org, Black Therapist List, blacktherapistlist.com, Therapy for Black Girls, therapyforblackgirls.com, and last but not least, and I'm going to shout out my favorite person, my beautiful, wonderful Pop, my father-in-law, because I know he's watching and I ignore his calls when he tries to call in. Therapyforblackmen.org.
That's important.
Pop, sign up now.
And Samantha says yoga is great as well.
Yes, yoga. So my therapy, and y'all, people get mad at me because they be like, oh, come out.
I
No,
used to do yoga too. It's nice.
I don't miss my workout class 3 times a week.
Good for
They
you.
keep me sane. I've been doing it since 2017. Now the results are starting to show.
I need to get into it.
Okay, so thank you for joining us. I like to plug businesses. Plug.
Early Bird 2 Educational Center and Early Bird 3 Educational Center, Jamaica, Queens. If you have children that need 3K or pre-K, come on down. You can Google us. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on 161st Street between Jamaica Avenue and Hillside Avenue. L&A Dream Stays on Airbnb. We have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Orlando. If you're thinking about going down with the kids for Disney or as couples, come on down.
Next.
JVA Notary Services, LLC. I am here for you. I am a notary signing agent, certified notary signing agent. I am bonded. I am E&O insured, and I will take care of all of your documents that need to be notarized. I also do living wills, healthcare proxies, and powers of attorney. If you need any of those documents done, contact me. My page is up. It's JVA Notary Services. Just look me up. I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook. I'm here for you.
Hold on, I co-sign on her because I'm an attorney, so she know what she doing.
Thank you.
This girl is soon gonna have a business. It's a surprise.
Oh,
But it's for the ladies in the name of Jesus.
It
who
sure is.
like to fix themselves up.
It sure is. And I would be the first one in
No,
line.
you're not. No, you're
I would be
not. thank you for joining. And I have to shout out, everybody knows my sister in Christ, my ride or die, Sharmika Barbosa. She was on a previous episode. Ladies, if you need some downtime and you don't want to go lay on nobody's couch, you don't want to shop, you don't want to get your nails or your hair done, go to superwomanrecovery.com, the Superwoman Recovery Program. We're going to be taking some nice trips soon in the near future. We're going to have some workshops. Shamika is going to be there for you. She is going to moderate. She's going to take you on trips because you know we love to travel. And you're going to have your downtime, my me time. Get away from these husbands and these kids.
Shamika, because I love what she does. I love it.
Yes. Superwomanrecovery.com. And thank you for joining us on another episode of Things My Mama Never Told Me. Next month will be June. And it's going to be very exciting. I think I'm going to have some men in the house. They've been bugging me. My father-in-law's on my cell phone. Lisa brother keeps texting. Brenda call us P. Diddy. So you know what, man?
There'll be a lot to discuss that.
Get the men's up here for the
come
Father's
sit
Day.
on the couch for the June episode. It's Father's Day. We love y'all. See you next time. Peace.
Peace.